In this tutorial, we're going to look at white balance, what it is, and why you need to do it. Digital cameras of all types tend to have a hard time figuring out what pure white really is, and as a result, they tend to tint the image, making it too warm sometimes, or other times too cool, or even worse, sometimes they add a weird color like green or something. So we need to set something called the white balance to tell the camera what white is so that we don't have that ugly tint, which actually prevents not only that tint from staining the white parts of the image, but also the entire image as well. Now on most cameras you'll find white balance presets for generic lighting conditions, like tungsten is for indoor lighting usually, and then there's also daylight for shooting outdoors in daylight and stuff. But if you really want to maximize the power of white balance, then you want to get a custom white balance. This involves taking a still photo that the camera will use as the basis for the white balance. That way you get a white balance for your specific lighting conditions. So what I like to do is use an 18% gray card like this here. You can find these on Amazon for like 30 bucks or something like that, or even cheaper if you wanted to get a smaller one. And I put this in front of the talent before I shoot. Now, it doesn't have to cover the entire screen, but you want to make sure it's in the center because that's where the camera is going to be looking for it. Now, if you don't have an 18% gray card, you could just use any white object. If you have a pure white piece of paper, basically anything that's not going to have a tint to it, it's going to work. Now, I have a post-production background, so I'm frequently guilty of saying on set, like, oh, we'll just fix that in post-production. But white balance is not one of those things that you should wait to fix in post-production. Unless you're shooting some kind of camera like the Red or an Arri Alexa, something like that shoots raw, then you absolutely need to do this white balance thing on set. Now this is especially the case when you're using mixed lighting. In other words, lighting from different angles that has different colors, like you can kind of see here. For example, I have a bluish light coming in from the window, and then I also have a soft bluish light on the left, and then I have a harder warm light coming from the right side of the image. And if there was a color tint in the image, if this was not white balanced correctly, it would mess the whole thing up. I wouldn't be able to fix it in post. So how often should you white balance? Well, pretty much any time you change any kind of lighting conditions. If you go from indoors to outdoors, or even if you're shooting indoors and then you change the lighting setup to reflect an interior daylight and an interior nighttime setting. Now, for the specifics on how to white balance your specific camera, you'll want to check out the user manual or find that online. Getting a good white balance on your camera is just another one of those steps you need to take to ensure that you get the most beautiful image possible. I'm Chad Perkins for Movies and Computers. Thanks for watching.